All right, tubers, Jeff Lindsay in the garage with you Monday, June the 25th. And we left off with the trunk area, kind of getting everything completed back there that we wanted to do with the spoiler, bumper, all that good stuff. And we came up, went ahead and got the passenger side door out, got it on, got it adjusted, and it works good. Real happy about that. The gaps look good. We're gonna break out the driver's side door. We got some little door dings that we want to fix before we hang it, so we're gonna do that right quick. All right, YouTube, this is the driver's door, and it's the one we had so much trouble with across the bottom as far as patchwork on the inside and outside. And for about the last 3 hours, all we've done is try to get this door smooth. There was a patch down here, and I think there was one at this end, or maybe two of them. I can't remember. One here, I think. But anyway, we short strand fiberglass those way back and shot them with epoxy, and we came back and put filler over that after we sanded it down good. And that's kind of what we've ended up with. It seems to be, for all intents and purposes, fairly good, fairly smooth. There was definitely some highs and lows, and you can see those. For my skill set when it comes to this, I'm pretty happy with that. There's not a lot of filler here. It's very light, very light, but it straightened out a lot. And just from what I know and what I've seen on YouTube, we came in here and we blocked this up and down, back and two all the way, and got it. I had it on there pretty thick, so that's what took so long. These places, you can see we had a low here and one here, and then a couple of little small what I call door dings. But like I say, it looks pretty straight, especially for my skill set. Everything looks really pretty good. And I hope that's focusing. I'm pretty happy with it. I think I'll be able to live with it. Obviously, it's got to have primer and then do guide coat to look and see, you know, where we at. I don't know, again, how much of that I'm going to try to do. This is probably going to wind it up as far as body work. That's about all I'll be able to do. So, with all that being said, we're going to hang this door. We got that one, and there is a place or two that I need to go over on this door with some body filler. And I mean, there's places all over, but I'm really getting ahead of myself by trying to do all that when there's so much other stuff that I need to do first. So we're going to hang the door and get on to something else, and when we do, we'll bring you along. All right, one driver's side door put on, and not too bad for the first. Just put it on, haven't made any adjustments yet. We'll come back and do some of that a little later on. I'm pretty good with it sitting like it is for now. We've got a lot of other stuff we're gonna work on today and tomorrow. I need to come in here and block all this mess down. I hadn't touched it since I put it on. I'm gonna do that right quick, just get it close. And I think the next thing we'll do is start on the firewall. We need to get all this mess stripped off and get it ready for paint, or get it ready to be smoothed out a little bit anyway. All right, tubers, a lot to do. All right, so jumping back for just a minute, we talked about working on the firewall. Obviously, we didn't work on the firewall, and I'm okay with that. We know what we got to do with it. It won't be fun. This is way more fun than doing that. So, we kind of got a new plan, a little bit of a new direction, if you will. Once we try to get this deal figured out, motor mount wise and all that, we'll set it in there and get it bolted up. And then I think what we'll do is just go ahead and put the jack stands under the body and bring the whole subframe out of the way. That'll give us a lot better access when we start to clean that firewall up, rather than trying to waller around all that. So that's the deal. I know we talked about doing the firewall next and we didn't. So new direction. All right, we'll bring you back. All right, YouTube, still June the 25th in the shop, working around, cleaning up, doing some things. We've been a little busy. This is what we wanted. I wanted to get this block with the mounts on it so we can kind of mock this up, figure out where we need to put it from what we've been looking at, and having this, I think we'll be able to get it hopefully. One thing we were looking at, you see 2, 4, 6 kind of in a line this way, not looking at anything down that way. I'm pretty sure they're going to be up in here. On this side you got the 2, 4, 6, but you've got these 2 extra holes here. And like I was saying earlier on in an earlier video, I have no idea where this subframe came from, what this subframe had in it originally. It may have been a 6-banger, I don't know. It had the V8 in it when we got the car, but if you'll remember, the clamshell mounts were welded in. And I did not mark to find out, I don't remember, and I've got it pretty smooth. I can't even tell where it was welded. So we've got to do this to determine placement of those motor mounts, and I hope this works. I've never done it before, but hopefully once we get the mounts in the morning, we'll be able to put them on here and ease that motor in there and find out where they go. We may end up having to drill holes. I just don't know. I know we won't weld motor mounts in there though. All right, tubers, that's what we've been up to today. I sure wish this motor would have been good. After we got everything out of it and just kind of, I wanted it a little bit clean. It doesn't have to be spotless. I just didn't want to get oil and grease all over what we've got going on over there. So we wiped it down good with some lacquer thinner and cleaned off all the old gasket mess. And just kind of tried to get it where it was decent, like I say, so you know you don't get dirty messing with it every time you touch it. So it's fairly clean. Man, I just hate it. I hate this thing was what it was. Pretty much wore out. And I'll give you a shot of the crank. You can look. I mean, the crank was wore out. Cranks wore out, all the pistons, bearings. I don't know how many of them stayed in. Most of them probably. Main bearing, look at that, shot. So it definitely was not a freshened up motor, which we knew that when we pulled the heads off of it a couple months ago. All right, tubes, that's what we've been working on today. Tomorrow is the 26th, and I'll be another year older. All right, YouTubers, it is June the 26th, Tuesday. We're trying to figure out motor mount placement. The holes that we've got bolts dropped in were there, and those are the most forward holes on the subframe on the top. One hole on the bottom of each mount lines up, and then there's nothing else. There's 3 on each side. I'm not sure about, you know, if there was a different type of mount originally on these subframes for the V8s. I don't know. I just don't know. I do know that that's as far as that is going to drop in. And like I say, 6 out of the 8 bolts line up, and then there's one on each side that there's not even a hole. So we will probably have to do some looking around, figuring, see what happens. I want to strip the transmission down and get the shell. It probably won't happen today. It'll be a couple of days. But I want to strip it down, bolt it up. I want to roll the subframe out from under the car. I've got to go grab my cross member. I've got to get all that stuff mocked up. That determines a lot as far as pinion angle, stuff like that, I'm sure. But I'm no expert at any of this. So just trying to do a little figuring, configuration. And that's where we at. That is where we at. It looks like there's plenty of room, but you know, without the intake and all that on there and the distributor, you know, obviously all that stuff's gonna come into play. I do know that it would be hard to go any further forward with this because you run out of room at the bottom. So short of trying to extend this subframe out as far as you can, I mean, the motor's got to be, it's got to be pretty close to right where it's at. All right, we're going to do a little more piddling around. We'll bring you along. All right, tubers. Pulled the subframe back out from under the car, mocked up the motor mounts to the best of our ability. They are right where they're, I hope, supposed to be. That's where they were when we had the block in the subframe when it was under the car. As you can see, the front lower corner of each motor mount, there's no hole. So we're gonna mark that, drill the holes, and hope we can get in there to put a nut in that area. We'll figure something out though on getting that done. But I like the motor mounts where they're at. I think that's where they've got to be. Everything that I've seen online, these motor mounts favor the front part of the subframe, and of course then all you've got is your distance apart. There'll be a little bit of adjustment on those once we get the new motor and transmission. We can do the final adjustment on that and get everything done. It's been a pretty productive weekend. Started out back here in the back, got the new trunk lid, spoiler, bumper, all that on and done. Gapped up fairly well. Driver side door, passenger side door, we worked on some door dings and stuff. Passenger side door is just like we left it yesterday. It's in pretty good shape, or day before. And then the subframe motor mounts, of course, shocks, all that's done. Firewall is not done. Gonna be a lot of work on getting that firewall cleaned up. We've got some stuff, hopefully, that'll help us out. The stuff, you can actually heat this stuff up and it comes off pretty good with a putty knife. It's just slow. It's just slow. But we'll get it. We'll get it knocked out. Might not be today, but we'll get it. All right, tubers, we probably got enough for a video. We're gonna leave it right here. Any thoughts on these motor mounts? Anybody see anything that might help me, you know, any direction? I'll appreciate it. But like I say, that's where they were when we had the block in the subframe. So that's definitely the pattern that we've got to use. And short of drilling a hole on each side and putting that fourth bolt in, I think we'll be fine, hopefully. We'll figure it out one day. All right, YouTube, we'll do it again.